Hello, I'm Austin Harrison. Welcome to Ivy Backed, a show where we look at active crowdfunding campaigns from a publisher's perspective. The show normally happens at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, but just for you, we are breaking out the different sections so that you can watch them later. Without further ado, check out this next one. Let's jump right into Weather Machine. Alrighty, so on Weather Machine, it is a simpler page. It is already at $812,000. So simple's working for them, right? So I am not surprised by that number. If you've been around board games for a while, you've probably heard of Vital Lacerda, you've probably heard of Ian O'Toole, you've probably heard of David Turtsey. All of those names are here. You've probably also heard of Eagle Games. Pulled them up. So Eagle Games, obviously the publisher for this game, but also the publisher for On Mars, for Lisboa, for Struggle of Empires, and on Kanban, a lot of other games that you have definitely heard of, and no stranger from working with this team of Lacerda and O'Toole and using them together sometimes, separately other times. But for all of you out there that maybe are thinking about making a campaign in the future, they did not start where they are now, and in fact, even failed a few campaigns. It looks like the Skyways campaign was canceled. I don't know if they failed any other times, but I mean, the success they have had since then is quite large. There's some really big games in this list. And some of our Discord members really love quite a few of these. So a very good pedigree to begin with. All right, so Weather Machine, you are leveraging research and lab experience to address the world's extreme weather conditions in this Euro strategy game. Lacerda is known for Euros. It doesn't surprise me at all. And I did want to point out that their names carry so much weight that it's not in the subheader. It is in the main header. The publisher knows what they have in this designer and this artist. They have such a following that having them in the name is going to help them so much that it needs to be the main thing up there in equal importance to the name of the game. So if you're strolling on by while looking through Kickstarter, you will know, oh, that's a Lacerda and an O'Toole. All right, moving on. Cool. So I said it was a simpler page, and it definitely is. This is a very simple what's in the box layout, really showing you the components. There's not a bunch of art behind it. That's just the box art, which the box art is fantastic in my opinion. I found it to be really intriguing. I wish it was bigger here because I'd love to see more of the box art, but I do find it to be really awesome. So, it's a nice work. Game overview. Right away, there's a ton of text, and this is kind of just giving you a little bit of the backstory. I'm not going to read it. Thank goodness there is some art here. You've got, the professor. You've got some of the cards, which I think is really neat to include the cards while you're talking about just the theme of the game. You're actually showing some of the cards and getting some intrigue there as well. But I'm really glad they included art in this. Otherwise, it just would have been this huge wall of text, which is sometimes off-putting for people coming to a page. But I did read this earlier, and I did find the story to be interesting and fun and set the stage well. So you should come check this out. And then it gives you a picture of the Weather Machine itself, which is very interesting looking. Has a bunch of cogs and a bunch of other cool things going on. So it's definitely a neat art style and a neat board. All right, so short page, very simple page. Like I said, there's not a lot of frills. It's not going to look like a lot of other pages that are funding at 800,000. And I think that they are building upon their past success without necessarily telling you that, right? Like the names are big enough to where they're building on that success without saying, hey, we made X game, X game, X game, and X game. It's like people just know the names at this point, which is a great position to be in. I would love to be in that position someday. I don't think that will ever happen. No one's like, oh yeah, Moonrakers was designed by Zach Dixon, Austin Harrison, Max Anderson. There's like Moonrakers was Ivy Studio, and that's how we've decided to market the games, and I think that that's fine too, because hopefully we can build just as much as Eagle has, because Eagle's done a great job on that as well, that reputation. So you have a lot of past reputation that's really pushing into this campaign. Pledge levels. Weather Machine includes the solitaire mode, the stretch goals, and the game itself. And then it shows that there's a German, I believe Japanese, and a US English mode here, or a version here. $139 is a signed copy. So you're basically doing $10 for a signed copy, but it has like a hand signed numbered decal thing, which actually looks pretty cool. It's the box art. And it's by Lacerda himself. I do believe that is a limited and is already gone. Um, yeah, it was 500 limited versions of that, which is that's a lot. He's going to be signing a lot of a lot of games, so that'll be a whole bunch of hand cramps. Hopefully not, but it might be. And then there was something on here that I thought was really really interesting: the express copy, limited number express copy. All right, it includes the solitaire, the stretch goals, the hand sign decal, which is everything that's up here in the side copy, and express shipping fulfills first, USA only. And I was like, what is this? What how are they doing that? Like, what's the plan on that? Are these the sample copies and they've already had them made? Because there was the what was that Archangel game called? Deliverance. Deliverance had prototype games that he actually sold as a part of the campaign. It was like the big Archangel pledge. And I was like, is this prototypes that they had made by the publisher or by the manufacturer ahead of time for like, for like press copies and they had extras? Is this the actual production copy and how are they doing it? So I scrubbed the page trying to figure out where it was. Of course, it was in the actual pledge level description itself. I kind of wish it was on the page just so I would probably found it that way a little easier. But overall, is an interesting concept, and I want to hear what you guys think about it because uh Dane Dane right away. I don't know how I feel about paying something more to get something sooner. True, and it's not just a little bit more. I believe the only difference is you're getting it sooner for $110. And it's not that much sooner. I scrubbed the whole page and I didn't find it, and then I found it here. It is the express copy, US only. So available only to backers with a shipping address within the United States. These copies will be shipped via air freight and will be fulfilled roughly 1 month prior to the fulfillment of the other pledges in this campaign. The shipping fee is included in this pledge level. So walk back what I said about it being $110 more. It is less than that. It's probably more like 90 more. Um, and it's the English language edition. Also includes hand signed, hand numbered. Again, shipping for any add-ons will still be charged in the campaign. So not only is it coming early, it's coming alone. Any of the add-ons you buy are shipped separately and charged for shipping separately. All right. It says here that the estimated delivery is November 2022. Roughly 1 month prior to fulfillment of the other pledges in this campaign. These also say November 2022. So that was one thing that I was hoping would show different. But a month you're paying $90 for it to have a month sooner. So I was just like, man, the only thing I can think of is that it's someone that wants to have the jump. They want to have basically a press copy without having a press copy so they can put it on their channel and get a bunch of views. But I don't know that that is something that happens. Like just having the game early isn't going to get you tons of views because there are people that already are going to have a press copy of this, right? Like I've seen several videos of this from people like Before You Play. Monique and Naveen are amazing. I love them. So I just found it to be an interesting idea. And I think anything is worthy of being tried. I am not against trying this. I just am surprised. I'm just surprised at how much it costs. Now, the way they're doing it is air freight. Walking that back to Moonrakers. Moonrakers and Veiled Fate, because Veiled Fate and Moonrakers were both behind schedule due to pandemic stuff. We were like, okay, how can we get them here faster? Let's look at air freight as an option. Air freight was going to be $580,000 to air freight our stuff. So air freight is extremely expensive. It makes sense that air freighting 120 games is going to cost what they're charging you extra. But I feel like it would only make sense if it was getting you the game 3 to 6 months early. Like that's where it's like, all right, I really want to play this game. I want to have it now. It's worth it to me to pay $90 if I have a bunch of disposable income to play this game for the next 6 months earlier than what I would have had. But 1 month, it's just like, we can wait 1 month. We have a bunch of other games. We can wait 1 month. But I don't think they could do it sooner than that. It's interesting to me. I want to see if it's successful. I mean, they only have 34 left of 120. So people did it. They tried it and it's working. They're selling it. So I don't think it was a bad thing. I do see some people in I do see some people in chat talking about how this is more like video game practices, like you get an early beta if you pre-order or whatever. Then um, Dane says, I don't want this to be a trend. Money says, I mean, it will take a month just to learn the rules. It is a Euro style game, so maybe. Uh, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a cool idea to try it to see if it's worth it to people. I mean, publishers need to find new ways to provide value and thus make more income if they're providing value. So I think it's an interesting practice. But I wanted to point it out and see what you guys thought. Guys, y'all, guys and girls, y'all, guys and everyone. Y'all is just better. I'm going to say y'all from now on. All right. Moving on. Pledge levels. Done. What's in the box? All right. What's in the box? This is a pretty standard section. The thing that I like about it is these books. I love these book meeples. I really want to hear what you guys think now, because these look so cool to me, and they're used really cool and nested in the boards. Dang it, that's farther down the page. We're gonna come back to that because they look amazing nested in the boards. Really, really great. And then they have these really nice machine parts which you can turn into metal, which I obviously like, especially if they're doing spinnies and stuff. So that's fun. I mentioned David Turtsey earlier. Solitaire game, The Saboteurs by David Turtsey, adds these parts to the game. It's included in every pledge, so far as I can tell. So cool. Stretch goals. Really big stretch goal section, so I like that as far as like they're showing you what you're actually getting, which is cool. There's not that many stretch goals, and I like that as a trend. It makes me feel like they might be a little bit more realistic, less smoke and mirrors. But yeah, I think it's interesting. The only thing I wish I could see is when these unlocked, because there's no, like, I don't know at what point this was. It 500,000, was it 50,000? And that might be intentional. Who knows? But it's gameplay unlocks for sure. And the one that's still locked is that this token becomes a metal token. How to play? Click here to read a draft rulebook. And then you have a bunch of tutorials and playthroughs, and you can play it now on Tabletopia. Not my favorite, but I'll do it if I have to. Okay. Previews, Quackalope, before you play, how it plays. I don't know who this is. Slicker Drips. Lots of Slicker Drips. And Heavy Cardboard, all really, really great people. Yeah, they did a great job in getting external verification. Out of those, I think my Discord has sent me before you play the most, so I'll probably watch that one first and try to get a feel for the game before I try to play it, which I'm hoping to do this week. All right. International versions, they have a bunch there. I'm going to skip that. They have a bunch of notes to a bunch of different things. There are the cogs, which looked really great. Oh, where did I show you the? I don't think I did. Where do the boards show the library books? It must be further down. But I really, really liked how those looked on the board. Add-ons, machine parts go to metal, which look really good. This is a stretch goal. Upgrades the wooden Nobel Prize component in the weather machine. I'm not positive, and this is one of the questions I had. I'm not positive if this is a $5 add-on that you can just do, but if we hit the stretch goal, then it automatically happens. Or if this is an extra one. Yeah, I'm not positive. Or if we're unlocking this, I don't think it's locked right now. So it's one of the questions I have. You can do an additional copy. And then there's a bunch of different their other games, like their Kickstarter edition of On Mars, their Kanban, a bunch of different games. This is definitely one of the companies that they have leftover. They have leftover versions of their past games that they do a great job of reselling in their future campaigns. So Aaron says, I'm all about the metal machine parts. I am in full agreement there. They look really, really nice. Definitely a nice upgrade. Oh boy, I think I might have found the picture. No, there it is. Look how well those little books nest into these slotted boards. I really, really like that. I think they look wonderful. So I was very happy about that. Published papers in a player's laboratory as they work toward a breakthrough. I don't know, just fun tokens. I love custom stuff, custom tokens like that. All those are good. A few nice things here. So just from a publisher's side of things, um, so they vet their retailers. Click here to sign up as an approved retailer. This is really important. You don't want a retailer say, yeah, I'm going to sell, 100 copies in my store. I have 3 stores, across the United States, and we're going to split them up between those. And then they get the games and then they put them on Amazon and you know, they compete with you directly there. That is not where you're intending it to be sold. You're intending it to be sold in their stores. And that's why it's an approved retailer situation. Unlike, some will just have a retailer pledge here. And this is how I prefer to see it, just because it's not fun for publishers when their Amazon store is being kind of like directly competed with someone that they thought was selling their games in person. So I approve. I like this program here. So our pledge to backers, I thought this was really nice, and this is something that a lot of other like campaigns just haven't done very well, and they're really clear about it here. You could read these 3 bullet points. Basically, what they're saying is they will do their absolute best to ensure that you, the backer, will be the first to receive it by, I think they say 90 days, so like 3 months. And that's when it will be released to the public. So if you go early, you'll have it 4 months before the rest of the public, but not here nor there. Cool. Yes, Dave, this is from the On Mars folks, and said you didn't know it was out there. But yeah, I was probably wouldn't have been turned on as much to it. I knew a lot about it because there were a lot of people in our Discord talking about it. Thanks, Jim. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing it. They have a great refund policy. You have 13 days after the end of the Kickstarter campaign to refund. After that, it's 80% of your pledge. You see between 80 and 90% usually, and this is just covering their credit card fee, transaction fees, their Kickstarter fees, things like that they can't get back. I think we're doing 90% right now, but 80%, they're not ripping you off. That's just what it costs to do business in this fashion. Like, that doesn't not surprise me at all. They say once games have shipped from China towards our fulfillment centers, refunds may no longer be available. This is because at some point you have to turn over your shipping plans to your distribution center. So if I'm working with QML is going to be like, cool, give us what it currently is, so we can do our splits. Our splits are, okay, we're sending this many games to the EU, we're sending this many games to the United States. And then right before you deliver, you're sending your final addresses, your final order numbers, your final everything, because you have like percentage gaps of like, okay, we sent 100 of this game to the EU. We'd only had 85, we'd only had 85 orders, but just in case that flexes a little bit, we'll be able to handle that. So it's definitely something that once you send those final addresses, it's really annoying to then go back to QML and be like, hey, actually canceled this one pledge out of the 1,000 I sent you, or in their case, 8,000 I sent you. So that's why that's locking there. That's not them being, nefarious. Any purchases made in the pledge manager are also subject to this refund policy. That's great. All right. The team behind this game, big names, very good names. And then a lot of play testing. This is always a really good sign in a game when there's this much play testers. And then they also have a really great solo play testing section here, which I thought was really cool. Shipping and fulfillment. It is expensive game to ship. It's 9.25 pounds basically. That is very heavy. Moonrakers is not a light game, and it is 5.5 pounds. So this is a hefty game. So if you're like, wow, that shipping's more than this other Kickstarter I bought, weight really does matter. And it happens. They are charging that to the UK. I don't think they are charging that to the EU. Is that right? I actually don't see anything about that. So maybe that's just a holdover from when it was only active in the UK and the EU and they didn't update it, or it's possible that they're only charging it to UK. Yeah, interesting. I wonder about that. That would be a question I have for the comment section as well. Cool. Overall, very well presented page. It is a simpler page, but once again, 813K. It didn't need to be a complicated page. They didn't need to do deep dives and do big splashy art and really sell you on the game. They're selling you on the game based on their past work and their names. And as long as the games continue to be good, which so far they have been, that will continue. People will continue supporting it. And so this is a great example of an established company making a very nice campaign page. I'm not knocking the campaign page. I think it's great. It is just not very huge and flashy. A lot of times this bar on the side is a lot smaller because the pages are a lot longer. And sometimes short pages are nice, right? I think the one thing that's kind of up in the air is whether that quick express copy was something that people are going to want, and if people don't want it, they won't do it next time. So I don't think it was a weird thing to try. But our chat did not like it, definitely. So thanks so much for watching. That's the end of that segment. We really hope you'll join us on some Tuesday in the future at 4 o'clock Central Time. See you then.